with deepest respect and permission from my mom and my older siblings, I'd like to share some words from my wife Javi and myself, Moshe Yitzchak ben Tzvi, my Zadie, whose father I'm named after. Zadie, please forgive us if we ever did anything wrong by you, to you, if I pulled your beard a little too hard or just was disrespectful. I meant you no disrespect. So as I sat on the plane, crying and writing, I couldn't help but think that in this week's Parsha, we lean the Aseret HaDibrot, and go one by one. I dare you. Like, he checks every one of the boxes, every single one of those 10 commandments. Zadie was our Moshe Rabbeinu. He's our leader. Zadie was the patriarch of our family. Undisputed. Everybody in our family knows that. You've heard all the stories and all the different versions. But guess what, everybody? Just as we did in real life, we're going to hear some of these stories again now, over and over and over again. We always joked amongst ourselves that this could play out like that movie Big Fish, where all the characters come out of the woodwork, and there's the guy who blew himself out of the building all singed, missing all of his clothing and just wearing his boots. Oh, boom! The sound effects, How about the guys in the Navy who tried to pick on him because he was Jewish, but Zadie didn't stand for that. He decided in his sleep, he would sleep in the munitions bunk with his Navy-issued explosive percussion caps, and if literally his words, if anyone had any problems with me, we're all going up in smoke. Ba-boom! There it is again. I remember that time you walked across Hiroshima after the big bomb dropped? Yeah, that happened. Ba-boom! When I think of Zadie, I think of that big yellow suburban submarine. I think of that big yellow Suburban with that large bench seat in the front. There's like a few crates, very orderly in his trunk. Really cool tools. Like he had this hand drill. It was like telescoping hand drill, and it would screw screws in. I thought that was the coolest thing. And these are tools that he had for years, tools that he used to work with to sustain his family, us. I think of the windmills that you made out of the aluminum cans that adorned your front yard. I remember the story about how he took Bubby on a date. They took a trolley, they went to the movies, they got some ice cream, but they didn't have enough money to take the trolley back home, so they walked all the way home together. Zadie, like how many lives have you lived? You were born in the Depression era. You met the love of your life. You became of age during World War II. You joined the Navy at 17. You were underage. He was a frogman, demolition squad. He literally swam in the most dangerous shark-infested waters of the Pacific Ocean. He cleared the area of super dangerous and finicky mines. You married the love of your life. The house you lived in was such a homey, special place, with all of Bubby's knickknacks, the garden outside, your workshop in the basement, the Costco pantry. Well, back then I think it was like a Pathmark pantry, featuring every yummy candy and more food to last the entire family for at least 3 coronavirus pandemics. You and Bubby raised two of the most incredible humans who live on this planet. Things may have gotten rocky at points, but you stood by them. You worked for General Motors for a long period where you were an innovator. The machines that you maintained and the things that you did on the assembly line changed the way cars were built, especially in the electrical and refrigeration areas. You also worked privately in refrigeration. One time, Zadie got a job working on a walk-in freezer unit for a large ice cream outfit, as he would say. And the ice cream was in these like giant drums. You like picture like those 50-gallon drums that they ship oil in, right? And he asked if he could have some ice cream. So they gave him a spoon. You know, what do you expect? They're a factory. So you have to know, Zadie loved Bubby more than anything in the world, but ice cream was a very close second. In the end, the ice cream company got their freezer back running, but not without some losses of their inventory. And Zadie got his money's worth in ice cream. Halfway through your lives, you did something absolutely incredible. You and Bubby became Bali Tshuva halfway through your lives. From there on, you were so devoted to Yiddishkeit. Zadie did Daf Yomi for years. You must have completed it many times. I'm sure someone knows that number. Minyan and learning were so important to you. When they built the new shul in Edison, New Jersey, you took so much pride in the building process. After they completed the shul, Zadie would bring us with him to open and to lock up the shul. He would show and explain how the HVAC system worked and the acoustical engineering that went into the main sanctuary. Remember that big panel? He was so proud. He was so proud. In a shul, he was like teaching us to care on a practical level, how to simply do litzarchei tzibur. Like, in a shul of hundreds of members, everybody knew Mr. Levy. Everybody. From time to time, I still bump into random people from Edison, and when we connect, they say, "Wow, hold on, you're Mr. Levy's grandson?" He was famous. Bubby got sick with MS and Crohn's. You took care of her for decades. Who does that? In your house. Even way longer than was thought possible. Bubby never had to leave her house because you bathed her, you gave her medicine, you cared for her all the while. And perhaps that's why you were zochet to live such a long life and to have your amazing daughter care for you and sacrifice everything to make sure that you're comfortable. And when it got hard for you, to take care of you. Spending time with you as a kid was like magic. When you showed up at our house, you would go fixing things. You taught me so much, Zadie. You taught me how to be stubborn. Am kshei oref. You taught me what it means to work hard and to provide for my family. You taught me this trick, how to make a screw grab when the wood's all stripped out by putting like a matchstick or a toothpick in the hole. You taught me how to keep the groundhogs out of the garden. You taught me how to be organized. You taught me not to be haughty. You ever hear Zadie go up to the Torah for a bracha? Anyone else in his position would be shaking. Remember, Zadie he was Bali Tshuva halfway through his life. Not Zadie. He confidently would fumble through the words and make the blessings. I, myself, this morning got off the plane, and I personally have a real issue with getting up in front of people and making a bracha. I don't know why. I can talk to you today until tomorrow, but for some reason, when it comes time to make a bracha in front of people, the butterflies are in the stomach. But this morning, I tapped into something from Zadie. I had the thought. After sitting on that airplane and thinking about this, I thought to myself, let me tap into some of Zadie's strength. If he can do it, I can do it. And I went up there, and I made my brachot, and I benched Gomel, and it was through the power of Zadie. In this, you showed me how not to be bashful. You and your computers, your floppy disks labeled perfectly for every programming game. You were not afraid to learn new skills and very much self-taught. You did not look for kavod, but it always found you. You didn't stand for any funny business. You loved animals, cats and dogs. You even trained your cats how to act like dogs. You were a man's man, the toughest and the grittiest of them, but you knew how to love so deeply that you were never bashful to say it and express it. A man with a strong heart. Physically, you were Navy SEAL strong. Mentally, you had the mental fortitude and stuck to your guns. Emotionally, when expressed, it was the deepest, heartwarming love that was felt by all instantaneously. If I'm only half the man you were, I'll have fully lived. What blessings Hashem has given you. Children, grandchildren, how many great-grandchildren, even great-great-grandchildren in your lifetime. People in New York, Maryland, Vermont, New Hampshire, in England, in Israel, Eretz Yisrael HaKadosh. We will be talking about you and taking your lessons for generations and generations to come. Can you imagine the greeting that he's getting in Olam Haba right now? Bubby, Leah Miriam, our matriarch, is so proud of you. Mordechai, your dear son, who left this world too soon, is waiting to work on the next project in Olam HaMet together. You'll be learning the Daf and his Chassidus, and you'll work to fix the air conditioning on Aiden together. We love you so much, Zadie. We'll never forget you and Bubby. Thank you.